So, what's up guys, and welcome to our new car, the E60 M5. As you've already seen in the video title, it's been a challenge, let's call it that. It's been, it's been a freaking disaster.
It's been horrible.
It's been horrible. It's been the worst scenario. So, when you buy a car like this, you think, okay, what bandwidth do we have? This is the best possible scenario where it works completely fine. You might have to do some oil, you know, minor stuff. And then there's the worst case scenario, which I think in that bandwidth, we're here, right? Is it lower even?
The lowest is the worst.
Yeah, that's like cylinders flying everywhere.
That's rock bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
That didn't happen, so I think we're here.
We're definitely at the lower end of the spectrum.
Yeah, I think we are. Well, let me introduce to you how we actually got this car, because these are actually pretty rare. Let's start here. The G80 M3. A car we all here, both me and Max and Huub, we all love this car. It's never going away. And why do we love it? Because of the manual. Then I thought I had a bit of money left and I bought that. Oh, we also bought this, by the way. You guys don't even know. It's a BMW 316i E30 Touring. We came across a super nice, non-crispy specimen and we thought we should pick it up for, at a good price, let's call it that. But we'll talk about that in a later video. But this, you've already seen. If not, go click in the top right corner. It's right there.
Yeah, that's correct.
I did it first time. So, the E92 M3, sort of the little brother of the E60. So, they started out with the V10 and eventually they cut off 2 cylinders. I'm going to simplify it here. And then this was born, the V8. S65 V8. Heet die toch? S65?
Yeah. This is S85.
Ja, S65.
Ja,
je kunt dit er maar even uit, anders komt het een beetje noobie over.
Nee, ik dacht dat jij one take ging doen, dat is jammer.
Oh ja, kut. Hoezo? Ik ben nog steeds bezig met mijn one take. Subtitles. Okay. I absolutely adore this car. Just loved it. Still love it. And I convinced Max that we should get E60 M5.
So happy.
So the place where I bought this, Bergwerf, great BMW specialist or dealership, I don't know what they're exactly, but I saw this, an E60 M5 manual. So I convinced Max that we should trade in the F430 manual that we have for this. And he was like, no, we're not going to do that. They are known for disaster. And I was like, this won't be a disaster. This is a good one. I can feel it, Max. I can feel it. Just do it. Okay, let's do it. sorry, buddy.
This is a very accurate description of what happened. Yeah.
But
thanks, man.
Yeah. Sorry. Again.
No worries.
These are actually pretty rare. It's a US spec because the manual was only introduced to the US market. So, yeah, North American market. Yeah, and Canada. That's North American
Canadians.
Market. Yeah. So, I'm going to get my little fact sheet here because otherwise we have to cut this video up into many different pieces. Where do I have it? This is an NB93. It's the internal code for the North American market. Yes, it is. It was introduced a year later than the European model. So the European model was introduced in 2004. The Americans got their M5 E60 in 2005. So 2005. And the manual introduction was a year later again. So in 06. Let me show you the engine. It's still in one piece, so I'm happy to show you.
They only made 1366, right?
Yeah, I was about to say that, but 1364 is the exact number, and they had 6 prototypes driving around. Yeah, so maybe 1372, but I think they got destroyed or something.
So show us the culprit.
Here it is, the S85 V10. Very, very special engine. It's the E60 V10. Story goes that BMW was developing an F1 Formula 1 engine. They decided to pull out from Formula 1 and sort of made this.
BMW was already in Formula 1 with Sauber.
Yeah, and then they thought...
They already made Formula 1 engines.
I know, but this was supposed to be a new type of engine.
The next one.
Yeah, and then it was supposed to be an LMP car engine. And
okay.
I don't know the exact... If someone actually knows, let us know what the
Yeah, it's so difficult.
development story is.
These stories, they have like
many variations, yeah. But it's 507 horsepower, 520 newton meters from a 5-liter V10. 8,250 RPM, although max peak power is at 7,750. Yeah, the 6-speed manual, it's from a 550i. So what they did is just swap the transmission for the US market. In total, the US market had, let me get my sheet again, really bad with numbers. 9,500 units went to the US. In total, there were 19,500 E60s. So nearly half of them went to the US, and of those 9,500, 1,364 were manuals. So as I said, it's a ZF 6-speed G manual from the 550i, but the final drive is from an SMG gearbox, so you get a shorter ratio in the end. So that's why it's a little more aggressive than, you know, a 550i gear ratio wise. So the normal gears, like the 6 gears, have the same ratio, so it's a one-on-one swap, but the final drive is different. That's what it's like.
Fun fact, they did not get the touring.
They did not, and that's actually the rarest of M5s.
M5 touring.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, only 1,000 of those were made.
Yeah. So it's a shame that the US didn't get the touring, they did get the manual, we didn't get the manual, but we did get the touring, and there is no manual touring.
But the ultimate shame is that no one got the CSL. And yes, there was a CSL, because yes, yeah, I had the same thing. When 25 years of BMW M was celebrated, they introduced their M5 CSL with a 5.5 liter stroker engine. They already did the same thing with the GTS. They did stroker engines back then. Go do it again, BMW. Go do it again. Stupid CS flashy remappy thingies. We want stroker kits. We want engineering, right?
Yes.
So
bring back real tuning.
They introduced a 5.5 liter V10 with 585 horsepower, and the best thing about it, a DCT gearbox. So from the E92 with a bit of reinforcement, I can imagine. So how did they get the extra power? Well, of course, an extra 500 cc of V10ness really works, but it also had carbon fiber intakes and a carbon fiber intake plenum. But the great news is that you can get that nowadays with Venturi. Yes, here we have it, the intakes and the plenum. We are going to install it on the E60, but first we're going to test drive it and film it and just document it as stock.
Well, we actually tried that already.
We several times.
Yeah,
but there's like this stupid bling sound and a yellow, like stupid little light that comes on that prevents us from doing that.
We've driven it 3 times.
Yeah.
In total, probably 300 kilometers, and we've had 2 engine warning lights.
Well, let me tell you about that. But first, we're going to show you what beautiful spec we have it in. Come, join me. So, the color, it's space grau. Is that it? Oh, sorry, the German name is actually Silbergrau. So back in the day, they always did like 2 names because of the American market.
It's very strange that they use Silbergrau in German and then they still use Grau for English
but that's Germans in the zeros. Like, who knows an English word? Space. Yeah, let's use the word space.
But then not grey.
No, that's too difficult. They didn't know their colors. There we go, beautiful kidney grills, just in chrome. We don't need any stupid carbon fiber or black
also
gloss.
Very proportionate.
Yeah, the only...
I'm talking to you, M3.
No, be good to it. The only weird thing is that it always seems like it's not closed properly. Always.
Did this when I walked in here.
Well, it's like, well, it's not closed properly, but it is. But it's really weird. Like, this is a full finger.
It's so stupid. Don't do it.
Not going there. So, just steel brakes. This is not a heavy car. You couldn't get any carbon ceramics. You also don't need any carbon ceramics. Carbon ceramics were actually introduced on the F10 model because that was a heavy fella. Let's call it that.
But we do need at least some new brake pads. But
yeah, also discs.
Discs. Yeah.
We're also going to do discs.
Yeah.
So our mission for this car is to make the best, the nicest manual E60 in the world. Yes.
We've got a long way to go.
Yeah.
No, it is already.
We have a nice base to do this because the mileage is really, really good, 88,000 kilometers. We've had it checked by the best BMW V10 specialist. We know Gijsbertse, who actually owns 4 V10s himself. So he has an M5 Touring, an M6 Coupe, and I think 2 M5 E60s. This guy knows every bolt and little clip that are on these cars, so he's the best place to go, well, with any BMW, I think. Let me show you the interior spec. Well, this was, I know I had to convince Max to get this car, and it was going to be really difficult, but then I saw the interior spec and I thought, oh, this is going to be really easy. Yeah. It's burgundy red.
Yeah. I never stood a chance. Look at that.
He didn't. With wooden interior.
Look at that.
This was a very sporty grandpa that bought this car.
Yeah.
And I think a man we would absolutely adore.
This has my name written all over it. And I was too weak.
I think most people would think, well, pimp that is in his pension. But we always love a weird spec, and especially weird grandpa specs. And what I have a sweet spot or a soft spot for these blinds. Whenever a car has these blinds, I go absolutely nuts. I don't know why. Yeah.
It's very weird.
We all have our defaults. Don't know what that was. Was that the V10 breaking down?
Yeah, I think the engine broke again.
So, we have our archive back here. Oh. So the car came with a big pile of paper. As I said, this is an American version. It was sold first in Florida, and then it experienced a Florida storm. And then the insurance company in the US said, well, we're not going to repair this car. It's a stupid old 5 Series. We're going to total it. What is it? A salvage title is what they call it in the US. So they said total loss of vehicle declared a total loss by the insurance company. Water damage reported. So who the frick buys a car with a report like this? Well, we do. We had the car fully inspected and they said, well, that's an American thing to do. repairs and parts are really expensive over there. So what insurance companies do, they just declared a total loss because it was bone dry. Like, we didn't see any rust or water damage whatsoever.
Yet.
No, we had it like properly inspected. Not by us.
Let's have a look.
And then it was exported to the UK, which I think is quite weird because it's a left-hand drive. So I think the UK owner after a month was like, oh, okay, steering is on the wrong side. And then it was exported to France, and then it was exported to Germany, and then it was exported to the Netherlands. So that's how it ended up here.
So it's had a very eventful life.
It had a difficult life, this car, really difficult, because the previous owner here in the Netherlands drove the car, and then one injector kept injecting fuel. Now, if you have, is it this little box right here? We have a lot of parts, and not nice parts.
Broken parts.
Yeah, here we have it. So if an injector keeps injecting fuel in the cylinder and you have a stroke that is not going to ignite, then there's fuel there that shouldn't be there. And if you compress a liquid, at some point it will not compress further, so it will bend the drive, or what is it? No.
Oh.
Drijfstang. Hup!
Rod bearing.
Nee, rod bearing is een lage schaal.
Force.
Camshaft.
Nee.
Propshaft. Nee.
Nee.
Wat is een drijfstang in het Engels?
Connecting rod.
Connecting rod. Yeah. Nice, thanks. And it bent the connecting rod. So we have it right here. As you can see, this is not straight.
Kept focusing on your face. Just put it in front of the wall.
Put it in front of the wall.
Put it in front of the wall.
Can you see it like that? It's a little bend, as you can see.
Yeah, okay. So
Now you can see, now you can tell. It's bent.
yeah.
And also the piston, not really looking all that nice. So it had an engine revision. And when it had the engine revision, they put it up for sale, and there we were with the F430, and we actually bought the car. I test drove the car. Max wasn't there that day. I said, Max, this is a golden one. It just had an engine revision. We need this. It will be very good for many thousands of kilometers. And he was like, okay, let's do it. So we did it. We went to pick up the car. We left the F430 there. We drove home. Well, we drove here. And the next day we were going to record like all the videos, like the review and the stuff on the Autobahn. So we could also do some modifications like the Plenum. So I started up the car here, and then the chime of hell, of nightmares.
Let the people hear the sound you mean. Just open the door, because this car chimes at everything.
Well, yeah, it does.
This one.
Yeah, if you hear this while you're driving, your heart rate goes up by like 100%, and my blood pressure goes up by 200%, because there's always like the expectation of some failure. And it was yet another injector that failed, as it turned out.
Because at the first engine revision, they just did.
They only did
the
injector of the failed cylinder.
Yeah.
And you would think, how stupid is that for such a small part? They're really small, the injectors, but they are also unavailable. They are not made anymore. You cannot get like a decent aftermarket unit. They don't really exist. So Aaron, the owner of Gijsbertsen, the BMW specialist I was talking about earlier, actually sold us his leftover OEM injectors that he like cherishes.
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 Cherishes. Wow, why is this so difficult?
Cherishes.
Cherishes.
Yes.
Cherishes greatly.
Like babies.
Yeah, like babies. So we are super thankful. I mean, a full set will set you back 4,000 or 5,000 euros. Aaron, thank you so much.
He didn't give them to us.
No, he did not give it.
He just sold them at a normal price.
Yeah.
Which is very rare.
Very, yeah. And we said to him, okay, do that and do whatever you have to do to make this an AAA plus car. We really want it to be a collectible. We really want it to be the best E60 M5 manual in the world. So we gave him carte blanche, like, okay, do whatever you need to do and just give us the bill and we'll just, you know, don't sleep for a few nights in a row because it really hurt the bill. But then we were like, okay, yeah, now we're going to go like full beans on the Autobahn. Now we're there. And yesterday, that was yesterday, right? Yeah, it was. Yeah. I was driving and I always do like a little reel for Instagram when I enter Germany on the Autobahn, on the unlimited Autobahn. So I was in third gear, passing the border, and I went full throttle in third, 8,000 RPM, and then bling! The chime, and there was something wrong. So we hooked up the computer, read out all the fault codes, fuel pump, of course the fuel pump. So there's a fuel pump in the fuel tank that really has to work quite hard at high RPM, and it seems to be a bit iffy, so we also have to replace that, which we're going to do. So Gijsbertsen has done a lot to this car to make it as good as it will be. So we did, of course, engine oil, we did spark plugs, we did injectors, we did air filter, compression testing, gearbox oil, diff oil, Vanos revision, so that's variable valve timing like with a Honda VTEC. So it has two of those having 2 cylinder banks. We also did a throttle body revision, coolant, and the struts in the back because they were a bit squeaky and soft.
Trunk struts, you mean?
The trunk struts, exactly, yeah. This is all technical gibberish. So, if you are looking for the best E60 manual M5 in the world, this will be it. It's not actually it right now, but it will be in the future. So please go follow us, go follow this project, this journey, and I hope that we have it all set and at 100% in a few weeks, and then we can also do the videos on the Autobahn and stuff. And of course we are going to do the inventory intake and plenum. So we have a lot of videos coming up with the car, and eventually it will be the world's best E60 manual.
Assuming we're still in business and are not bankrupted by the bills.
Yeah, that's true.
Or just mentally unable to.
Yeah, you're in a straitjacket, like E60. You only hear chimes. Bling! No.
We'll find out.